know.
Also Wednesday.
Princess, we have a problem.
Oh God, what's the problem?
Mason Dixie will not be buried in my county.
Who? Oh, that's the cop that died?
Yeah, and tried to murder ADMC.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You don't want Viking? What about Viking burial?
I'm fine with. I'm trying to prevent a political crisis between your county and my own. But this Mason Dixie, you can some of this information is public. Depending on how far it goes, we'll see what. Here's kind of what is publicly known. Is Mason Dixie became very vengeful against members of ADMC.
Okay.
Went off duty and began to hunt them. The first attempted murder by him happened at Senior Buns. Subsequently, he was like tried to get them again, and apparently he had it all logged. Like he had like it was like he was logging this shit. So some of this information, yeah, it's fucking cooked. Now the problem is that that BCSO, which I don't know if they know this or what it is, or maybe people aren't thinking about it this way and they're seeing him as a cop, is that they're looking to bury him with Beretta, who's also a dead cop. But the difference is Beretta died in the line of duty.
Right.
Mason Dixie tried to kill someone off duty. So my thing is, if they're burying him,
bury them together?
Yes. I was
like they're married or something?
Well, what happens is like PD doesn't, you know how PD's always talking about PD. I don't know if you know this, but Aziz was buried like 6 months after his death. They like wait till they have a couple bodies.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's like a discount
but you don't
thing.
you don't want the body to be, is it like a symbolic thing? You don't want it to be in Los Santos County?
No, it's if he was to be buried, right? Then there can be a private funeral, right? Non-law enforcement,
right.
Friends and family. But for a law enforcement agency to bury him as a, representative of counties or representatives of the state, is pretty cooked, because you're sort of like commemorating his death of a murderer, right? So I would say, like, if Beretta is buried as cops, so be it. But if you take somebody who was actively trying to kill people in the city, that shouldn't be a police thing, right? It's like a private matter. You know what I mean? So,
so the only way to prevent this is to get them to decide not to bury him there, or
do a private, private thing. You know what I mean? But not what is it called? A police professional? Not professional, like
processional.
Processional, yes.
I mean, who's that up to?
Apparently, it's Legs and BCSO, right? So,
okay. What if you tell ADMC and subtly imply that they should steal the body?
Well, I'm gonna take it a little bit further. Is that if they don't agree to do it, I may have to I might have to do a writ of habeas corpse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then maybe I'm gonna bring the corpse to trial to determine whether or not he was guilty.
Interesting.
And then impeach the corpse.
Okay.
Oh my God! Actually, we can. I'm just gonna impeach the corpse, and then file a writ. Yes.
Yeah. Do you even need to do a writ of habeas corpus if they're already dead?
No. Not writ of habeas corpus. Writ of habeas corpse.
Habeas corpse?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Where?
Yeah. I mean. I like it.
Yeah. So.
I would say, yeah. I mean, why not impeach a dead person? I can knight a dead person. That's part of the Blaine County.
I want to work with
Stolen of Honors Act.
Well, I kind of feel like, I think it's possible that I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt here is that maybe, the decision makers in BCSO were just like, oh yeah, he was a cop and he died. We're going to just like go do a regular burial. And they're not considering the implications of their action. You know what I mean? And so the implication there is like, hey, by all means, you can bury him. You can even bury him in Los Santos County. But to do it as a police department, especially alongside another deputy that did no wrong, is the equivalent. Well, it's not the
It's essentially he died before they could fire him, and so he's getting buried as a cop. But
he would be stripped of
not
his.
been dead. Yeah,
he would have been stripped of his job. Like, just because he died, like, and he was a cop before, it doesn't change the fact that he died trying to murder someone. Like, it's like,
that's true.
This is a bit of an extreme example, but it's kind of like, Osama bin Laden was a CIA operative during the Cold War. We're not going to bury him in Washington as a consequence just because he didn't get the firing papers in the mail. You know what I mean? It's like, no, the guy was a fucking terrorist. Like, you know what I mean? And this guy was a goddamn murderer.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say that about like a lot of different cops, but yeah, no, you're right.
Oh, wait, have other cops like tried to murder people?
I mean, they do it legally all the time, and then there's like questions about like, oh, is it, was it right or not right? And
that is true. This one's really damning. I'm surprised you didn't hear about this.
I heard that he died.
When you get a chance, take a look at the docket posting. It's actually wild. Like, it's out of a horror movie type shit. Like, yeah.
I have to warn you that I think potentially some members of Cyprus might be trying to incite a war between the counties.
Just because some of them are my brothers, I had nothing to do with it.
Oh yeah, that's perfectly fine. I know it's not you. I'm saying that they want it.
Wait, why though? I'm confused. What happened?
Probably for spice reasons.
Oh, okay.
But let's see. What else did I want to tell you? Oh, you remember how when Mumbles became the mayor, he made Jimbo sheriff for a day?
I wanted Jimbo as chief of police.
Well, you can't have him. I was thinking of making that like a Blaine County public observance of Jimbo Day, where every 3 months when the new mayoral term starts, Jimbo gets to be sheriff for a day, and he can never choose the same undersheriff twice. So he has to choose someone completely random, but it's like a good transition of power, Like, before I make the actual sheriff the sheriff, I put Jimbo in place for 24 hours, and during that 24 hours, the transition period can happen, where the new sheriff learns stuff from the old sheriff and stuff like that. Plus, it's just fun.
I'm
gonna make that a public holiday.
I think that's I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
By the way, I wasn't suggesting I'd make him recently. It was like, genuinely, Tilly wanted him as chief, and I was like, you know what? I'll give him a shot. And because of that, my relationship with my niece went to shit. So, yeah. And he couldn't do it anyways because fucking Jimbo needed to play fucking hockey at night. So he didn't have enough time.
Oh.
So, yeah.
He's a sports guy?
I don't know. Something about like teaching hockey in the evenings or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm planning a Blaine County boot camp, which is going to be teaching BCSO how to be Blaine County, where I'll have like
You mean Blainers?
Yeah, Blainers, but it'll be like, I'll have a course in Blaine County language and phonetics by Kirk Jerkums, and Kirk Jerkums will teach him how to talk like a Blainer.
Oh my God.
I'll have McNulty teach everyone how to tell the difference between moonshine and poonshine, and like get a taste for moonshine, sommelier stuff.
Oh shit!
I want to teach everyone how to be like real Blainers.
You should make them bring their siblings.
Oh yeah, totally. Bring Peach and Jeb too. They're like honorary
That is
Blainers.
true. That is true. Yeah, I think they. It's kind of like Tilly. She refuses to acknowledge that her mother's from Blaine County. She actively hides it and gets really upset if you bring it up. I think Peach and Jeb are also like that. Like they sort of they're hiding their heritage. You know what I mean? They don't want anyone. They want everyone to believe that they grew up in the city.
People should be proud of being Blaine County.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I wanna. It's my first step in the process of making BCSO like have a culture where it's not like
Yeah.
if you picked up the Blaine County Sheriff's Office and plopped it down somewhere else, it would just seem kind of normal. I want Blaine County cops to look out of place in Los Santos.
I get exactly. Yeah. It just kind of makes sense. Like, it just, you're not that. Yeah. I
However,
understand exactly what you're saying.
Nino.
Yeah.
You might find this very surprising.
Yeah.
I've been getting the results of the survey now, the surveys of BCSO and the surveys of civilians about BCSO. It is like shockingly okay.
How many survey numbers?
Currently, we've got 36 responses from civilians, which I know is not a huge sample size, but of the responses, it's like surprisingly like very few people have significant issues with BCSO. And I'll tell you, I don't know where they're surveying. I need to double check that with Shiny. But
I'd be very curious to know if it was like one batch of individuals. 36 is, that 36 is a very low number.
Right. This was 3 different survey takers at 3 different times.
Very interesting.
And I want to see more survey results because, I think it's possible that it's just a small sample size, but I will tell you one of the questions on the survey is like, generally, do you have a higher opinion of LSPD, BCSO, or do you consider them about the same? As in, most people consider them about the same. And then we had, 14 higher opinion of BCSO, 9 higher of LSPD. I don't know if they're doing this as, in Blaine County, but it's strange to see.
I have an idea. Hang tight.
Okay.
God damn it, I'm logged out.
Are you gonna do a state announcement?
Maybe.
Don't do a state announcement. It's gonna be
Why
biased.
not?
I mean, because first of all, if you want the state announcement to have people take the survey, I need to actually talk to the survey takers and see if they're around.
Well, yeah, I was thinking hey, if we were to ban one department for the weekend, which would it be? 1 for LSPD, 2 for BCSO, and then put your suggestions, put your numbers on Twitter.
I have a feeling that would be very, not a great sample size, but you can. I won't do whatever.
I won't do it. Listen, I thought it would be funny. Fine.
No, it would be funny. I think I'm really interested in making this whole census thing more common. I wanna actually start doing more in the way of surveys and stuff. And censuses of people, because I think, and when we start actually doing registration for Blaine County or Los Angeles County residency, I want to do different surveys and see how people feel.
The biggest challenge, and this is with any survey, right, is inherently a survey requires active participants, and because a survey takes time, a lot of people tend to skip it unless they. More people are likely to do it.
We are doing only, because Signy's been doing this for ages, right? So
getaway car.
we're doing a maximum of 5 questions, and all of the questions are simple, yes or no, or scale of 1 to 5.
Yeah.
So it's very, I don't think it's difficult to get responses. I think that definitely if I do it in the future, I might want to start, getting more information about who is doing the surveys in terms of where were these surveys taken? If it's, outside of BCSO or then, obviously maybe the people are pro BCSO, or if it's at the prison, you know, maybe those people are very anti-cop because they just got out of prison.
Yeah, very true. I think it'd be interesting to do a census via the polls. And
I do think that would be really good.
The poll census comes before a critical decision. So, for example, should EMPs be illegal would be the 5th ballot on the poll, but it starts with 4 census questions
Oh, I like that.
in advance. And that's where, you know, what that does is if you're going to vote, you also need to provide anonymous data, right?
Yeah. Sure.
And that's kind of my thing with this is like, you know, I don't like even when I get opinions, right? It's obviously going to be those most comfortable to speak with me, and they may align with me more politically than they would with a survey. But at the same time, a survey, you know, when the sample size is like so small, it could be like, let's say Chaos Legion all decided, hey, let's go do this. So now all of a sudden there's, you know, you don't get the randomness. Anyways,
yeah, 100%.
but I like your general idea. I spoke to Sinai, on a similar topic, because there's a lot of things that we may not even know. Like, for example, a lot of people complain about not being able to eat food at the food booth. But the thing is, you're only going to hear that from people like that actually, like, you don't know if that's like 5 people that are really loud, or if it's
exactly it's a vocal minority.
Yeah, exactly that. Yep. So.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, 100%. And if we start doing residency, then having, you know, residency-based polling of different groups, you know, and seeing.
Yeah.
I think censuses are important.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. So, what are we doing about this body?
I don't know. I mean,
can you talk to Aspen? Maybe like try to avoid a political. I mean,
Aspen hasn't talked to me since she treated her sheriff interview like an exit interview.
Wait, what?
Like, Aspen interviewed for sheriff, but her interview was like, she was just immediately on the defensive and was very angry that I invited Kyle Pred. And so she spent the entire interview being very defensive and basically just responded to all the questions saying that, like, no, I'm not going to listen to the mayor. The mayor's stupid.
Huh?
And then afterwards she texted me saying, you know, it was a choice to bring all people who hate BCSO to the interview. But congrats on mayor though.
Wait, how? Wasn't it the people that were there when I came in for Pred?
Not entirely. So for the most part, it was, I had Grayson and Ava as judges. Then I had Oshira and Osvaldo as, you know, criminal side of things. I had Opal as the LSPD perspective. I had Helen as the BCSO perspective. I had Kyle Pred, Quentin as my cabinet, Murphy, and I think that was it. And Ursula. So I think the only people that actively are like anti-BCSO are probably Kyle Pred, and then maybe Grayson. But I mean, Kyle Pred, like, part of the reason why I brought him was because he's provocative. I wanted to see if people could keep their cool, and she couldn't.
Ursula has been BCSO since day one. Helen, you know, Helen told me she'd quit if I
pick Peters. And Bruce said he'd quit with her.
Shut up. What in the fuck? You know, I'm just going to say it again, and I can't say it enough. For individuals who gave me shit when I used to bring up that people in the city are having a tough time waking up because of the fines and the times that they heavily were pushing for, it's very choice to be threatening that, you know? And
it is. It feels bad too. I don't want to make people be like that. But then again,
but it's
she didn't
not
say
your
she's
choice.
not gonna wake up. She just said she's not gonna, you know, be on duty, or she'd quit. And I don't know if that means she's joining LSPD or she's gonna start a gang with the sole purpose of murdering me. You know, maybe she's hell in the fellas. Like,
to
maybe
me,
she will.
it falls in the same category. To be honest, you know,
I'm genuinely. I think it's gonna be interesting if BCSO, like if people from BCSO do quit based on my decision. I'm very curious to see if Turner will consider those people potential candidates for LSPD, or if he'll say, you quit, you know, you quit because of the sheriff. We don't want people like that.
I've already kind of spoken to him about it. Are we gonna bring it up to him again? I do not want to see you have to go through what I did in the first term, because I think it was bullshit. And what happened in the first term was, and if you want me to deep dive it, let me know, but I'll just give you the TLDR, is I had heavily considered Vivian, because she had a lot of good qualities, but she ignored the full. I said, I want you to be chief. I want you to get a, figure out who your ass chief is, right? But it needs to fit this criteria. Oh God, scuff. And I said it cannot be Barrick, cannot be Ruby. It's got to be, because of the reasons that I was doing a reshuffle to begin with. Right. And fucking, oh God. Ultimately, she couldn't figure that bit out, and things okay, got. Man? Yeah, I'm good. Just a little bit of scuff. Thank you for checking up on me. Oh my God. Sorry, I'm just flying in a car tornado right now.
Oh no.
Ultimately.
Just a little bit of scuff.
Yep.
Is flying around.
Ultimately, when I reneged on the offer, right, as a consequence of that, because it was kind of like, I don't know how to say it. It's like, you know, when it was very unfortunate, because I did like her. It's just I needed an ass chief that was going to fit the vision of the county, right? And that turned into turmoil, and there was like a mass exodus, and it really hurt the department for a long time, right? It was over 3 months of Peters and Moss just trying to build while there was internal destruction. There was not just the transfers, there was people in the department doing like snaky shit, right? Like, and I don't mean talking shit, but like actively destabilizing it. So, I personally think that I may even tell Turner to do an active freeze, right? And that way it's like, no, you have to work with the new leadership. And in a month, if you still feel that way, or you're actively protesting, you know, then that decision will be made from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's fair. Like, I mean, do you think that's fair, or do you think that's cooked? Like,
No, I think it's fair. I think it is. I think probably there's some people who have legitimate reasoning, and so maybe, you know, an interview with someone would give you that information. Like, I don't know, if someone, I don't know, if it was, like, if Helen used to get bullied at school by Peters, and then Peters becomes the sheriff, I can understand her being like, okay, I want to switch departments. But if it's just because, you know, I wanted to get my way, and because I haven't, I'm going to, you know,
throw a tantrum,
strong arm. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Princess. If someone had a legitimate reason to transfer, wouldn't they have transferred already?
Well, I'm saying if they have a legitimate reason to not, you know, to not trust the new sheriff, or to feel like that's like a legitimate, you know, if it's like a personal thing, or they just can't handle, I don't know, like if they used to date or something. Like there's maybe some personal reasons why you wouldn't want to be in the department with someone else. But there's a lot of not good reasons.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's going to get real spicy here soon.
Oh, for sure.
All right. Well,
absolutely.
couple updates. Talk to Sean. I think the penal code is getting reverted. Apparently, he's on smoke too.
Okay.
The other justices are against the penal code reversion. I think they don't even recognize the governor already really ruled on that. And Sean said, well, if you feel that strongly, then wake up and make your opinion.
Dang.
So that makes me very happy because I think we're going to have a really good, successful 3 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he also wants to set up meetings once a week with legislative authorities and another one with like heads. So that would be like chief of police, sheriff, director, that kind of thing.
Right.
I did advocate that we need an agenda going to those because I cannot stand going to a meeting that does not have a purpose.
Yes, absolutely.
You know?
I agree with that.
Okay. Easy. All right. Well. All right. Well, best of luck, Princess.
Well, thank you.
It's going to be interesting.
I'm excited. You know, I will not be strong-armed, and if for no other reason
What
than I
is
know
happening?
that, like, you decided to run this term.
What is happening to me right now?
What is happening to you right now?
Okay, someone's fucking with me. Who is it? Where are you, you son of a fucking bitch?
Oh no. I'm gonna let you handle that.
Yeah.
I have to get food or else I'm gonna
All right.
starve.
Okay. You take care, Princess. All right.
Okay, you take care too. Don't get killed by gods or something.
I only believe in science. Take care.